Students in McAllen ISD's Middle Years program, part of the International Baccalaureate, begin working on these projects in May of their freshman year. By August, they've solidified an idea, then they begin working on it. They see a mentor periodically throughout the process, and then by March of their sophomore year, it's showtime.
Because if you have good confidence, if you can connect with people, I figured you're going to be a good leader. And so what you told me was that knowing your roots enabled you to be a much better leader, but that wasn't the only factor.
This is the presentations of the personal projects at Lamar Academy for all the Year 5 students. This is the culminating project of their MYP experience, where they get to use all of the skills that they have learned throughout their 5 years in the program. The really unique thing about what our kids do is that they get to choose their projects. They get to choose whatever topic they want to pursue. Anything that's their interest may develop into a hobby, maybe even a career someday, but they get to find out what they can be passionate about. And that is unique because I don't know of any other program that will offer them that kind of a unique experience, you know, to learn from the community, to learn from experts in a field, to be able to do interviews, and then to research and then present a product.
This project is about creating greeting cards from drawings made from children with autism. And I got this idea because I volunteer at a summer camp every summer for children with disabilities. And I usually volunteer at the week when they have all the children with autism. And I got interested in autism because a cousin of mine actually had autism and still has. So I really thought it was an interesting way of he had an interesting way of perceiving the world. And I just immediately got interested in that. And that's what basically inspired me to show others how amazing the children with autism really are. The children from the camp, I had children from about ages 6 to 16 draw me pictures of either Valentine's Day, birthday, thank you, and stuff like that. And from the greeting cards, I got the picture and I posted it on the front. I designed the card, and then inside, Merry Christmas or whatever the theme of the card was. And then on the back it says all the information about the camp. This is the birthday one. It says happy birthday. Happy birthday again. And then all the information on the back. And this is actually drawn by this child over here. Well, I'm selling them right now, and the donations that I receive from it, they're going to go to the camp for their new, they have a new aquarium that they built, a new aquatic auditorium, you could say, and it's one of the things that the children with autism really like. So I wanted to make my contribution to help them pay off the building of it. So all profits are going to proceed to that.
We have several music presentations today where the kids have created original music. We have some who have looked at local foods that are grown here and have explored how people can use them and benefit from them, you know, from fresh grown produce. Some of them have looked into the creativity of creating original poems, original stories. We have a lot of artwork this year, also photography and drawings.
So for my personal project, my original idea was to make just a healthy cookbook because my mom has high cholesterol. So I was thinking about making a healthy cookbook and dedicating it to her, but I felt like that wasn't enough, like it wasn't a great personal project. So I decided to take family recipes, because my family is mostly from Mexico. Actually, they're all from Mexico. So my mom has a book full of recipes that she's learned from her mom and her sisters, and she gave me this book, and I decided, well, I'll take the family recipes and I'll look through every single ingredient. I calculated how many fat grams, cholesterol grams, and calories every single ingredient had, and I came upon a certain number. If an ingredient went above a certain number in fat or cholesterol or calories, I would replace it with something else, a healthier ingredient. What I wanted to show was that Mexican food doesn't have to be unhealthy. In fact, Mexican food is healthy. It's a misconception that Mexican food is greasy and oily because what we have here is Tex-Mex, which is focused on meats and beans and cheese, but traditional Mexican food doesn't have all of that. It has less meat and more of the native vegetables that are grown in Mexico. So I kind of wanted to show that you can take any recipe, any Mexican recipe, and it'll still be healthy. You just have to play around with it. I decided to do some research on this because I couldn't just create this from the top of my head. I had to go in more in depth about what Mexican cuisine was and what Tex-Mex cuisine was, and to learn if Mexican food was just that, if it was all about meat and beans, and if it was just unhealthy, or if it was that the American culture was mixing with the Mexican culture and making it unhealthy. So, this is green spaghetti, and it's green because it has poblano pepper in it. So it's a little bit spicy, not too spicy. And this is macaroni with ham and cheese, but I made it healthier by making, instead of putting just ham, I put turkey ham. And the cheese is, instead of American cheese, I put a little bit of cheddar and a little bit of mozzarella. So, which is healthier than American cheese, I found. So.
Okay. So you designed your own cookbook, and this is your family's recipes?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is my kitchen, actually.
Oh, very good.
My introduction was just, what I decided to make my introduction about is Mexican cuisine and where it dates back all the way to the time of the Mayans, and how their cuisine was mainly composed of vegetables that they found in the area and little meat. And then I described how it kind of evolved into Tex-Mex, and I described how Tex-Mex and Mexican cuisine are two completely different things. Mexico is really important to me because my entire family is from there, and I go to Mexico at least once every month, so I'm really connected to everybody over there, and it was really fun for me to research more about the place that I consider my second home. It was really fun for me.
Well, actually, we get them started their freshman year at the end of the year in May to start thinking about a project that they would like to do. They think about it over the summer. By the time they start with us in August, they need to have firmed up what they want to do. And so they work from August until about February. So they're assigned mentors, and they are required to meet with their mentors 2 or 3 times during the course of the project. And there are intervals at which they will have to have certain things finished. And so we try to pace their work a little bit so that they can be finished by February. Mid-February is our due date. Well, IB stresses that students need to be good communicators. And so much of what we do has to do with them being able to present orally to a group, to a class, to have the poise and the confidence to feel like they can verbalize exactly what their ideas are. And so, we stress a lot of writing in our program, but we do stress a lot of oral communication. And so a part of what IB asks as the final thing that they do with their project is to present it in some way. And so we found this is a wonderful venue here to have the kids really showcase what they have been doing for several months.
My project was to create 2 attachments that would be able to attach to a wheelchair.
Now, what gave you that idea?
I have an aunt. Her name is Marcela, and she's like a second mom to me. And she's been disabled in a wheelchair since the 1990s. So I wanted to design and create something that I could use to not only help her, but also everyone that was disabled in a wheelchair.
And what is your project called?
My project is called Making Attachments for a Wheelchair.
Okay. And what have you done? What have you done here? Tell us.
Okay, so the first attachment essentially is an iPad stand and holder. I used a gas pipe, and I reinforced it with a copper tube to make sure it was sturdy enough to hold up the actual device.
Okay.
But I designed it to be universal. So essentially, since it's attached by what is known as a floor flange, I could unscrew it and screw it back into any case of any model. And I could slip it in any tablet that I wanted to. So this is a copper gas pipe, and it's reinforced with another copper tube inside the pipe. I used copper specifically because it was strong enough to hold up the device, but also flexible enough to be shaped. And so
you can
I can
configure this to your preference.
Exactly, your height or your specific angle that you want to view it.
Okay.
And so
And what do we have here to fasten it?
this on the back of the case is called an iron floor flange. Essentially what I did was put 4 screws into the back of the case, and that holds that in place. But to actually attach it there, it has a mechanism similar to a bottle cap. What you do is screw it on to the actual pipe. I created the idea because I knew many people enjoy using their tablet, and many people are also in wheelchairs. And so I decided that it would be a good idea to allow these people to have an easier use of their tablet.
How does it make you feel to come up with something like this that no one else has ever thought of and really helps people?
It makes me feel kind of, important and special that I'm able to contribute to such a great cause, especially one that involves helping the disabled.
The kids today, and I teach all of the sophomores, they were pretty excited today, almost a little jittery about, dressing up, and some of them, especially presenting in the auditorium in front of an audience. It's a little nerve-wracking for anybody to do any kind of public speaking, but it's a great experience for these kids. And I find that by the time that they get ready to graduate from IB, that these kids have developed so much character and they've developed so much poise. And it's a far cry from even the regular students graduating from high school who really hasn't had this much experience in being in front of people and having to communicate well. Just to have the confidence, and I think colleges will see it, when kids interview, employers will see it. There's a boldness that they have, I think, because they feel good about themselves and what they've been able to accomplish, that helps them in a sense to sell themselves as good employees, good students that people will want. In the auditorium, we have a showcase. There are 8 presenters there. Every 15 minutes, we have different students presenting their projects to an audience. And so we picked some of our best to showcase. In the meeting rooms, we have a lot of the other presentations set up, the exhibits. And then in the lobby here, we have the artwork, and then some of the food projects are out here where people can sample.
For my personal project, I created a music album of my own. And my goal was to entertain and encourage the students of IB. And I started off by working with basic chord progressions on my guitar. I'm very involved in music. I like to listen to music. And I play varieties of instruments, so I thought that my skills would be able to create a music album. So I thought of a simple chord progression first, and then I developed it. And then I added lyrics, and when I created lyrics, I collaborated with my friends because I thought that collaborating would be better than just working by myself. And after I had created the lyrics, with the help of my mentor, I recorded each individual tracks, and then after I recorded individual tracks through the software GarageBand, I was able to join them together, and then edit, revise, and even add drum parts to it that I found featured on GarageBand. So after I did all that, I finalized it, and then I added. My original plan was to add it to iTunes, upload it to iTunes, but I found that the cost was too much. So I found an alternative way, and I spread the word by Facebook, Instagram, social media. And I used Dropbox, and it's a website that you can share files with, and you can download it. So I gave the link to people, and they were able to download it and have it on their phone, and just use it on.
So your music's already out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of feedback, even like people would post on Facebook and Instagram about my album, how great it was. And it was just an honor to have my album to be posted and shared with the public. I would say the hardest part was the recordings, because you had to be perfect. You couldn't be like a little off, or else then it will be off for it will be off like forever. So I had to get it perfectly fit, and editing the music was hard too, because I had never had experience doing that, and it was very detailed information, and it was very precise that I had to deal with. It's basically just kind of like a chill coffee shop jazz guitar with simple drums, and I started off simple with simple music because I thought that would be the best, and even that, it was really challenging for me working. I didn't know that creating the music album would be this hard, and I plan to later in my life. I plan to develop my skills and to continue with my albums, and yeah.
I wake up 6 in the morning. the sun in the face, I gotta get going. I'm way too late to take a bite of banana pancakes. I pack up my bags, exit the house, I run to the car so I can be on time for school. Get to the school, I run through the halls, I enter the class, I'm saved by the bell. Beep, there goes the bell, ringing in the heads of Abby, King, Dawn. This school's so hard, but friends are what's getting me to survive another day. Every day is another day. Every day I feel the same. When I try to stay awake, I simply fall asleep. When I sharpen my pencil, it always seems to break. Every day is another day. Every day I feel the same.